The Out There channel.
Please sub and share.
Searching for the truth. UFOs, aliens, greys and ufology. Real images, real stories, real videos, real cases, researched and investigated by professionals in the field and cutting-edge discoveries. Multiple witnesses, abduction accounts brought to you by Team The Out There channel. Good to be back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Action.
Yo. I thought I was keen enough to do a late night chat. What's it coming up to? 10 o'clock PM New Zealand time. So maybe it'll suit a few people out there. We'll see how it goes. Haven't got anything planned, but we'll just go through it as usual and expose the lies, the fraud, the disinformation, and the fakes. And there's plenty that's sort of come out since my last show, I think. Yo. Anyone out there? If you want to join the side chat, I can set it up for you. If you want to tell your own story. Whoop. Can't even type at the moment. Alright, so what are we doing tonight? Okay. Just created a general heading here. I'll cut and paste it. I'm going on the new setup, so still getting used to it. With the screen in a different place. There we go. Yeah, do that. Sometimes I forget to do it. Now Google took 4 days to process the last. Some results. Google, go to sleep phone. Yeah, it took 4 days to process my last live stream, and then you don't get the side chat, you see, until it's processed, and it sort of glitches when it plays otherwise too. It buffers and all that sort of business. Did that pin? Pin. Hey. Good stuff. So yeah, so let's get stuck into it, I guess. Just recap some stuff. Oop. On the wrong screen. We're up here. Alright. So, last time we did Secureteam. You may notice I've lost 4 subs on Rumble, but everything else increased. So that just shows that there's 4 Tyler fans that slipped onto Rumble there. Obviously didn't check out all my stuff. Like usual, someone will like a video and join, and then when you give them a truth episode later or recap of their shill guy they follow, they get all upset. I've seen it time and time again. Even John from Tucson, he was a hardcore fan of Secureteam. He was really upset with me when he first saw my early stuff exposing the frauds, especially Secureteam. Then he started watching my stuff seriously, and then he came back and apologized and was done with Tyler after that point. Hello there, Christians. What's this? Christians are burning, are they? Yes, there's more Christians than answers, isn't there? Especially in this field. And there's so much noise too, you know. So much noise in the field. Health, what's that? Hot Fire. With Stone Hobbit. He's changed his name, has he? Found out my what? Found out about Tyler way back, did you? Did you find out from me? Yeah, it's just amazing, you know, people just unsub, don't give a reason. I had someone say I was wrong about calling Tyler a shill. And I said, well, go and watch the 20 episodes in the playlist here that I have on him, and see what you think after that. Okay. Naughty frauds. Yeah, they ruin the fields. It should be taken as a serious research field, but it really isn't, unfortunately. I'll just go through the comments here. What? Female, thanks, son. Burden, it's okay. That costs third phase is legit. Yeah, right. Unsecure CGI. Hey, Gabba TV's here. A Skywatcher from Aussie. No sky watching in New Zealand at the moment. We've got this huge cloud that's over us, and it's been raining 3 days non-stop now. And it looks like it's going to go on till about Friday. It's really depressing though. Yeah, Stone Hobbit. Yeah, I know you're a female. But you did change your name again. I did send you a DM, didn't I? Is that the one? Is that the same one? Sometimes I just forget. And some of the names are similar, or people will take the names of other people. It's good that you've joined us anyway. So last time we talked about the James Webb telescope that Tyler put out this information about a raw image which is unprocessed. They call it a flat image. It's a flat image that hasn't been processed for dead pixels. So yeah, we found out a wee bit about the technology behind the James Webb through this episode here. Plus looked at the stats of the universe, how big it is and how many planets are out there. And they found 16 Goldilocks zone planets in our own galaxy. And there's thousands of galaxies out there. In fact, how many galaxies are there? Okay, Google. How many galaxies in the universe?
According to space.com, all in all, Hubble reveals an estimated 100 billion galaxies in the universe or so, but this number is likely to increase to about 200 billion as telescope technology in space improves, Livio told space.com.
So that's a bit flowery, isn't it? They said there's 1 billion galaxies, but they expect that with the improvement in the Hubble telescope with the James Webb one to be up to 200 billion galaxies. And okay, Google, how many stars per galaxy?
According to the conversation, now the next step, using the Milky Way as our model, we can multiply the number of stars in a typical galaxy by the number of galaxies in the universe. The answer is an absolutely astounding number. There are approximately 200 billion trillion stars in the universe.
Yeah, we know that from last time. That's not what I asked. I said how many... Okay, Google, how many stars in the Milky Way? Or try to put it a different way.
100,000 million stars. According to
100,000 million stars in our own galaxy.
100,000 million stars in the Milky Way alone.
So they found what? Was it 3,000 or 6,000 planet systems around some stars, and they reckon 16 of those in Goldilocks zone. So how many alien species are likely to be in our galaxy alone? Of 100 billion to 200 billion galaxies, of 200 billion trillion stars in the whole universe. And that's going to change too, right? They're only guessing it from what they're seeing with their telescopes. It's just an astounding number, really. So, yeah, although they're light years away, if they've been around for millions of years, or even billions of years, they've had a time to develop their technology and sort of have livable ships that just spread across the galaxy. And they probably got to the edge of the spiral arm where we are and say, hey, we found some other life, we need to study it before we go on across the vast distance to the next galaxies. So even if they go at a slow motion and just live in these livable ships, which are like floating planets, right? Really, that's what humans need to do. They need to have these space stations that then deorbit and just carry on through space, investigating the universe to find out more answers. Because our planet's oversaturated, right? Too many people on it. And our sun is our food source for everything. So the sun energy comes on the planet, feeds the plants, which feeds the animals, which feeds us. Once that's gone, we're gone. So we need to get out into space and spread if humans want to survive. GD's on Discord. He probably can't make it, but I can't read what he's going to say, probably. But anyway, just catch up in the side chat here again. So as we found out, the flat images, they don't remove the dead pixels, and because Tyler has said it was a diamond-shaped UFO. Well, it would have to be a huge mothership, probably, to be seen, right? Lightning hit the house and fried everything. Oh, is that where you've been? Right. Normally the lightning rod takes care of that, though. But yeah, I got UPSs, so they're likely to blow before anything else hits the other equipment. You should always get UPSs. They cost like, for a decent one, about $500 with 3 batteries, and you can pretty much run even a flat screen TV off it for probably all day, probably. You certainly could run a laptop off it all week. So definitely get UPSs. And the batteries last about 3 years, and you have to change them. They cost $20 each, which is a pain in the ass, but it has to be done, especially if you live out in the country. Always getting power spikes, I mean, and dips and power cuts, especially when someone has a car accident and hits a power pole, because we still got lines above the ground, right? Outside the area, even though this is a new area, it's all underground. Why would spend billions of dollars on a telescope and release crap photos? Well, these telescopes, it's a technical thing. They're designed for deep space vision rather than up close, but they wanted to turn the infrared sensors onto the planets to get an initial reading of what they look like. The Hubble can't see better detailed than 1960s orbiting satellites, because the size of the mirror would have to be as big as a football stadium. It's all to do with optics, of course, and they're designed for looking deeper into space and different wavelengths than they are to aim at the surface of the moon or whatever like. And like I said, it'd have to be a massive telescope. It wouldn't even be able to launch it into space, so it'd have to be assembled in space. I suppose it could be done where you could have a football size telescope in space that can see down to a couple of feet on the moon. But you never know, it might happen one day. And then look how far that could probably look at the other planets in the solar system. It'd be like it wouldn't be used for deep field, far away stuff, I doubt it. But they might be able to incorporate it so it does both, I guess. It took them like 20 years to plan this telescope, by the way. That's why they're inventing algorithms and stuff for it, as we found out back in 2005, I think it was. Certainly 2014. There was some G-Hub algorithms there to correct dead pixels to process it. So yeah, NASA were the cutting edge on photo and video analysis, right? Improving the quality that the FBI requested their software to use on murder cases. And they used it to enhance car plate number plates. This is where the overlaying of frames come into existence, where you could overlay the frames from a really bad quality video from a VHS tape from a security camera and actually read the number plate where you couldn't before. So yeah, it's good that you got people that are working on that side of things. And of course that's incorporated in iPhones now. iPhones is sub-quality camera tech in them, but the firmware is superior, that it processes like NASA does to enhance the best quality of the frames in a video. So yes, it's just a matter of learning this stuff and just keep reading and all that. But I can't understand why I would have 4 Secureteam people on there suddenly just unsub and on Rumble and not actually investigate it further. How can we get through to teens to 35-year-olds? Because as we saw on my stats, mostly 35 and upwards watch my channel, with less than 1% of them being females. So, yeah. How come that hasn't come up? What's happened here? Oh, that was on Discord, was it? Yeah, let me just check out what's going on Discord. Live now. Can't read here on Discord. Yeah, if you're not part of Discord, UFO group, by all means, join us. There's all sorts of stuff there that's not posted on Twitter and YouTube and all that. And you can share your own stuff if you want it to be reviewed or analysed or help you figure it out. So it was JD. Right. He's not going to work tomorrow. It is pouring down in Christchurch here. He's enjoying the time off. So see you on YouTube. See if he pops along. Anyway, where were we? So, yep. Oh, I pressed the wrong thing now. So easy to click the wrong button because I've got two screens. So yeah, if we go back to this one here, we actually did get quite a few views on this one and a few comments on it. So I reckon it's hardcore bases. You can go by the number of likes basically, same as you can with my channel. So mine on average gets like 10 likes. His gets 19,000. There's no way to get through to these people here. They just still believe in the old Tyler. Let's go through it. Hey JD, glad you could join us. Took your time. Yeah. So let's see if anyone said the same as I did, because I forgot to look last time, 4 days ago. The double crater looks more like one crater with an object sticking up out of it. So this is some of the silly comments. The diamond shaped object isn't the shadow. Yep, I said that. Just the left of the big red spot. Instead of calling it shadow of an object, it may be electromagnetic disturbance. No, it's actually dead pixels. All cameras have it on their sensors. That's why they have redundancy. It's a bit like the hard drive. All hard drives have bad magnetic sectors on them, that they have a percentage of free sectors that are not used, that they allocate to replace bad ones as the firmware finds them, and eventually it runs out, and eventually it can't replace more bad ones, and you start getting a hard drive failure, right? I remember this channel having problems, especially with Tyler. Yes, you should watch all my episodes on that, and they'll get you up to speed. So glad everything got cleared up. Yeah, he had to follow what the judge said, else end up back inside. He got the 3 months waived, didn't he? If he attended AA and all these other things, right? He lost his license. He can continue making these awesome videos. So that's the type of people we're dealing with. I'm not sure how old that one is, but she looks like she might be below the 35-year-old mark. With the amount of knowledge that is unknown, I gotta wonder how they make them. What they talking about? The UFOs. Finally, an old school style Secureteam video, straight to the point. Yeah, straight to disinformation. This is what I'm talking about. Keep on coming. So this is the problem we've got. This has got to be a young kid, isn't it, in the teens? I'm confused if the JWT is actually JWST, James Webb Space Telescope. It's not just telescope. It sees light years away. Why can't the JWT see the surface of planets closer to us? Well, I just talked about that earlier. It's not designed to actually see high detail of planets. It can't. The mirror's still not big enough. But it's designed for what they wanted to do, is to do deep field infrared scans of the distant stars or galaxies. You see the smallest things like a rock on solid planetoids. This is where you got to understand technology and the limitations of it, right? Understand optics and sensors. As we found out, that they only got a 4 megapixel sensor. But what they've done is they take lots of images and overlap them, and they turn it into 150 megapixels. No, 150,000 megapixels, wasn't it? 150 million. 150 million. I have to go back over that, but I think it must be 150 million pixels. So buckle up. So he's watching Third Phase. This was intense. I'm especially curious about what's lurking around Jupiter. Isn't it meant to be some of those crazy cults that talk about what do they call them? Placidians? What do you call them? The race of people there. Tyler, you rock. Love your stuff. So, we don't know how old that one is. It was nice hearing your thoughts. So it'd be good for ages in the brackets. So we get a good idea. So I'm not sure how we can get through to these people. There's no way we can reply because we're obviously unbanned. And if I did, another account would be banned. So there's no way to get into these people. And Google just makes it so easy for these frauds to just keep knocking it out because no one can expose them apart from Google by making a featured video under theirs. I suppose you could buy ads and place the ad on his videos. That would be funny. But that would probably cost a lot of money. 200,000 views. I don't know what that would translate to into money. Straight answer. So yeah, 3 days ago. So none of these people are obviously watching my stuff to get the real answers on this episode. Outstanding video. You're raising the bar with your content. Unbelievable. The double crater looks like one opening. Actually, Tyler the Shadow referring to, see someone else has referred to that. Double craters are all over the moon. Exactly. There's even triple ones. Or quad ones, which form shapes of squares even. Good to have you back, Tyler. So yeah, I'm not sure how we can prove to these people how they've been lied to for many, many years without getting to UK magazines and stuff like he did. So yeah, so that was a quick summary of what went on there. So it's time to... Is that not working now? JD, oh yeah, it is. We lost the highlighter last time we were on. Not sure why. Okay, so we've got some GUFON stuff here too, which I want to go over. Who's that one? Oh yeah, that one too. And we'll come back to those ones. So let's start with Third Phase. So we only got 2 people watching, or is that wrong stats there? Gibber. They just, where's the quality control? Well, they just wanted to release that early because it was going to take a longer time to process the final output, right? Does that work? And of course they wanted to give Tyler some content. Obviously. Third Phase, the garbage channel, number 2. Are they number 1 or number 2? Is Tyler still number 1, or are they number 1 now? What do you think on that one? Who do you think is still leading? Tyler's still beating these clowns, isn't he? So yeah, how many people watch them? You know, so let's grab the next one of these. I'm not sure. I haven't actually watched them, but I've seen some stuff mentioned on Twitter. So they got what, 2,500? So could that be the real number of the people that watch them? I reckon it would be. That would be their hardcore base. So they haven't got what is it? Almost 800,000 subscribers. Most of them are dead. 34,000, and only 2.3k liked it. So that's pretty bad stats, I reckon. But still, the view count there gets for this video here, 4 ads, multiply it by 4, allow blocking of ads by what's it called, ad blocker. So they're still making $100 out of this, you know, $100 US, which is still pretty good. That's like if they release a video a day, they're making more than they would be probably working. In the meantime, they can sit around and do whatever they want to. You've got to remember, these guys are all millionaires. Third Phase is millionaires, and Tyler's millionaires. And they want the good life, so they want more money. You can't have people offering $1 million for the best Bigfoot video if they haven't got it in the bank account. So let's just play it. Did I turn it down?
Guide tracker
into thin air event. So let's start it right now. Take a look at this special report by.
Come on, guys. This guy's got to be gay, isn't he? Gay men tend to look after their looks. He kind of acts like a gay man. It's about time he come out clean about it. And Mick West is another one.
By into thin air.
What you're looking at right now is.
Okay, so this one here about the news weather cam, right? Was on Twitter, and they got a stupid banner over the top, but I think they released one without the stupid banner. Obviously, it was like a publicity stunt to get more viewers, I guess. So we'll just watch it and I'll break it down what I think it is, and we go from there.
A snapshot from the Sky Tracker weather camera out of Colchester, Vermont, a local ABC News affiliate. During a weather forecast around 5:30 in the morning, you can see it says 6:56. That is when they came back on to actually talk about this after viewers called in saying they saw a weird object during the weather forecast. Now, not only do we have a video of this thing actually moving, they also have a time-lapse video that captures this thing.
Okay, so I'm just looking at the very aspects of this video and seeing that there seems to be like some sort of curvature to the image going on here. So that's part of the clue, I think. So they're trying to say this is a mothership or a UFO just hovering in the sky. It looks very bitty. Got chunks missing left, right and centre, but we'll just keep on going with it.
Basically zigging and zagging across the sky. You are looking at that video right now. This is what they provided to the public, and as I'm sure you can guess, it was one thing to have people call in and mention this object, but once it hit social media, it completely blew up, with people from all over the world posting pictures of similar objects, trying to confirm that this was in fact a UFO. Of course, all we have is this video and snapshot.
So what do you think it is, guys, so far? any camera experts out there.
Evidence, we can't really say yes or no to that, but it is a very interesting video. Now, within the newscast, which I'll provide the link to, they do talk about this being a possible UFO. They use those actual words and letters. You can also...
Which are obviously using it to drive traffic to their news channel. Because they made fun of it, didn't they, in the full video, which this guy doesn't play, but they sort of laughed and giggled about it.
Also see that in the tweet they posted, they write, "We captured an unidentifiable object on our WX camera this morning. It wasn't a cloud, bug, or lens flare. So what was it? Watch the video and let..."
Most of the time it turns out to be birds and bugs, but in this case I don't think so. Just keep on
Let's hear
going.
from you. That's what I'm asking you guys to do as well. As I said, the link will be provided, but they also do their normal joking around about aliens and abductions, but we're going to stay away from that. We're focusing on the fact that this is an unidentified object in the sky. This is certainly no type of cloud. I'm sure many people that have any sort of video and or significant time skywatch.
Now I did actually tweet these hosts whether they could give us a picture of the camera so we could see what the outside camera angle was and all that sort of stuff, and what type of lens it had, because that's clue to debunking it, which I believe that none of the fraud channels ever bothered investigating. As far as I know, no answer has come through. I haven't seen any alerts, so again it's been totally ignored. And trying to find the camera, which I tried to last night, I didn't find any images of the outside sky camera they're using, which is a bit unfortunate, but I think I can guess what it would look like by some of how the light's bending in some of the images here.
Watching, we all know clouds do not move in this way. They do not look like this, especially in a clear blue sky where you can clearly...
So this guy here, another UFO channel, that third phase of promoting for some reason, has not even investigated that much. You ask the basic stuff first, right? What's the camera look like? What make is it? And all that sort of stuff. Because you want to know if it's got multiple covers on it and all that sort of stuff. And the curvature and all that.
Really see there's not a cloud to be seen whatsoever. Now all I did with this video is I enhanced the threshold and some of the clarity to it, so there's no changes made to this video besides enhancing what's already there. And you can clearly see a disc-shaped object, almost in the shape of a flat football. I don't know what you want to call this shape, but it is very, very recognizable. And in fact, when Twitter blew up over this, people were sharing many, many different images of things of the same shape from different sightings to go ahead and plead their case.
From a lot of fraud ones that were debunked there. Carlos Diaz one, as we know, was made from blowing a glass lampshade. Someone that come forward said, yeah, he made the lampshades for him and coloured them. So that one's busted.
Ask, what do you guys think about this video? This is very interesting. This was caught on an extremely high definition camera. Could this be some sort of cloaked object to blend into the sky and the equipment was able to pick it up? They say themselves this was not a lens flare, nor was...
Okay, so you got to play Oscar's razor, look at the camera tech first before you even go into far-fetched claims.
Is it a bug or anything like that? So they are basically admitting that they have no clue what this thing is, and then of course they go into their jokes and they try to downplay it with the typical...
Now, it doesn't look like it's out of focus like a normal bug on the lens would be, or it doesn't look like something that's just hovering in front of the lens. It's moving far too slow. So these snapshots they're going to show us now are possibly not the same object.
Explanations that news stations would use. Now the one thing...
Alright, so they're showing the snapshots here like it's going from right to left to right. I think there are 3 different objects that also went upwards or just simply faded.
that I'm enjoying about this is that they did post it. They posted the original footage for us to look at, and I just find it interesting that just yesterday and within the last 2 weeks pretty much, we've been talking about this non-stop. How this topic is blowing up all over the world, and I don't see any end in sight. I think this is going to be a very real thing going forward, and it's just a matter of how serious people take it and how far mainstream media is willing to go in showing us stuff like this that is captured. I am fairly certain this will make its rounds on the internet for some time to come, and if any other information comes out about this situation, if anyone from that...
Now, Mick West was the first to dive on this one, debunking it. And initially he said it was possibly bugs and birds, which generally it turns out to be, but then he looked at it again and decided it was raindrop, and I agree. I think it is a raindrop. It's on a dome. I think we can see the curvature of this dome, and of course, being a sky camera, it's going to be looking upwards to the sky, isn't it? So have they got it tilted? I don't know, because I tried to get a picture right. So, you know, outside cameras generally have these domes. Outside dome camera, which is ideal, which is like what I use upside down for my sky watching too. But you can get ones that are actually waterproof, that look upwards. can look upwards and also look downwards. I've actually just ordered another one to actually have a look at, a miniature version one, but it's none of these smaller cameras as good as the big one I got, because the big one's got a lot more capabilities, a bigger lens, and it's got optical zoom, because it can actually control the lenses inside with motors, right? But it's more likely to go wrong. And it wasn't designed to be upside down, so it'd be interesting to see how long my camera lasts. So let's have a look at some of the images. Excuse me. So I tried to Google the news channel and all that. Generally they look downwards, and that makes them really waterproof, but a lot of these ones are actually IP68 and can actually be up the other way too. Right, so it wouldn't make sense having these looking down for a news channel, sky channel, right? They could have it looking straight across, but it'd be limited in what it could see, I'd say, on one angle. I'd say they'd probably mount it upside down or on the side of a wall, right? So it's actually, I don't know if we've got any pictures of one. So they're not likely to have one of these. They're likely to have one of these, but flat against the wall. And then they've got 360 view, plus they can look forward, which is what I think we're looking at. So it is a typical security camera that looks down, but that's not good for a weather camera. You want it reversed the other way. You can see this one's aimed up, so this is another possibility. It has like a rain guard there. So we're looking at something that's looking upwards, but then we've got sort of this curvature of the lens happening. So that's why I wanted to find out. So they're not likely to be on a slope like this, because the raindrop went upwards, which means it's got to be on the opposite side of the curvature, where the gravity is enough to, and wind action is enough to push it up the other way. So yeah, I don't think Matt West has found the image either of the camera. But you can see all these are positioned to be security cameras, so they can be withstand harsh conditions and rain, and also impact of people throwing rocks at it. New camera, yeah. I'm trying to get all the new tech out the way before looking at a laptop, so I can capture the evidence that's going on in the house. What model did you try? It's a bit like one of those round ones with the dome. I'm hoping the dome can be screwed off it, because I want to use it inside. Like one of these with an antenna, so you can have it flat on the table, or use them outside. They're not cheap by any means. They're still like $60 New Zealand plus postage. I bought one like this for the front door. It's not too bad. Has a really amazing quality image to it, and it can see through the window, which is at night time, which is kind of interesting. It's got Sony low sensor light in it. Okay, so if you say weather camera, outdoor dome camera weather, I suspect this is probably what they've got. Weather sky watch. Let's see what happens. So let's have a look here. Okay, that one's sort of a ball-shaped one that can go upwards. So it's a possibility they could have something like that, I guess. That swivels upwards. They've got these ones here looking downwards, so I don't think they're Skywatch ones. None of those, because they're all looking downwards. And same with those ones. Must be some that's angled up the other way. That one's got a fancy hat. I'm not sure why. Go on, there's got to be some examples here. Camera looking upwards. It's just not happening, is it? Let's zoom out a bit. I suppose there's one mounted on the side. This is what I think. They probably got something like this, and the raindrops falling here, and the wind's sort of blowing it upwards, drying it out, and it fades away. And I think the other images of the snapshot or other raindrops that fell since, that also dried up or fell off or whatever, suddenly disappeared. Still no good examples of what they're going to use for a weather camera. I see my problem of finding information. So that one's mounted on the side. Those ones are upside down. What's that one there? All sky meteorite camera. Well, there you go. That one's up the correct way. Fisheye. That's all we got. So you probably have to put outdoor dome skywatch, probably. Go watching. There we go. So there's a dome that's clear with the camera looking through it. And that's what they use in ufology. What's that? Like a tent, is it? That's pretty cool, eh? Sky dome. And then you can just lay there and watch the stars at night. That'd be really cool. Great idea. There's another one. See, you never know what I'm going to find when I do a search on this channel. Look at that thing. I want one. There's another one. Pretty cool. Amazon. How'd you say that word though? Inflatable. Look at that one. You live in style. It's got to be Saudi Arabia, isn't it? Double bed. Anyone can watch. Well, I was looking for cameras, but it looks like we've got outside furniture, outside tents. Bubbles. Living in a bubble. Anyway, back to it. Carry on.
Area in Vermont.
So you can see here, that makes me think that's a water droplet. And it's actually going upwards with the wind draft on the dome. It won't fall downwards because it's on the curvature here where it's counteracting gravity. So you just get a crosswind across it there, and the water droplet's going to gradually move, right? Well, will dry out.
Comes out with any new information, I'll dig it up for you guys, and I will find it, and I will.
See, it can't be right on the lens because it would be blurry, right? Just like you get on security cameras with oversaturated spiders and stuff.
Present it because.
New camera. What model did you get? Good idea to be. Capture furniture, future events. Thought you were talking about the tent. You should get one of those tents. You'd love that tent. I reckon, JD, you'd be up for that. Pitch it up on Port Hills there or somewhere like that.
I just love this stuff.
Absolutely into thin air. This is actually pretty cool stuff, and we're looking at it a little closer. And there's been speculation on the internet in regards to what this possibly could be.
Speculation, you can see here now, we're getting an idea of the curvature. Where they've pulled back on the lens. So to me that looks like it could be a dome, right? More evidence for a raindrop.
Known debunker, I guess.
Known debunker. So I reckon this is not the same object because we didn't see it travel here, and they're probably out of sequence too. They probably just simulated it moving away. Probably to mislead people to keep them coming back.
Call him Mick West put up a video on Twitter and stated that these objects, or this object possibly could be, or he's basically stating that they're
okay, so here's another camera. An example of raindrops on, obviously a camera with a cover. And I guess it would be a dome. Does it look like it could be a dome or a fisheye? It does look like there's some curvature here. I don't know if that's the mountain range or if it's just the lens. It does kind of look distorted, doesn't it? But yeah, it's forming exactly the same shapes here.
On the left.
And the key one is to watch how they sort of dry up and fade away.
Let's look at this.
Yeah, we are looking at it. There you go. Lots of UFOs. A swarm of UFOs, but the raindrops on a curved dome. And you can see it's time-lapse, so what happens to the drips? They slide downwards, or simply evaporate.
So, to be fair, when we look at Mick West's debunks, sometimes he gets it right, sometimes he gets it wrong. And in this case, it does look very similar to the video just presented.
So, guess what? Blake Cousins actually agreeing. maybe they can't shield this one. But why would they put it on their channel? Obviously because they want to make some money from it too. And they keep talking about they got lots of content, right? But this just proves they haven't. So they just put up anything that's sort of been debunked anyway. And they recycle stuff, a lot of stuff.
By Into Thin Air, making its way across the internet,
but none of these are going upwards
though.
though.
Also share with you some possible ideas of what that craft could have been, and right now,
so they're all going downwards. So why? Because maybe the camera's not angled in such a same way, right?
Mick West is stating that this is what we're looking at. This,
of course, it may not have the same wind as well.
Kind of a lens flare kind of anomaly.
Lens flare? No, not a lens flare. What did you call it? Reflection? I don't know. Not even a reflection, is it? It's a filter, basically. Light going through a raindrop. That's sort of amplifying the dark clouds. What looks like this one.
When a webcam is looking at a weather storm and these drips hit the lens, it create this kind of sphere-like, saucer-shaped shape in the sky. Multiple shapes in regards to this video. But again, let's bring up the first video that Into Thin Air brought to us, and we're looking at it, and it doesn't really quite look exactly like what Mick West is presenting.
I think it does actually.
And again, look at this. This is snapshots.
We probably could copy it and overlay it if you need to, but
Mick West's videos.
So let's have a zoom in on one of these ones. You can see how faded they are, but we don't know how long they've been on the lens, drying out. See, it needs a lot more enhancements to really see that very well.
It doesn't show any kind of motion in regards to the phenomenon. Look at this. These things.
Yeah, so let's just zoom in one of this. I think it kind of looks exactly the same, but it looks a bit more out of focus.
These aren't really moving. Very slight. Not that
one, yeah.
Indicator what we just saw from the left to right action, and we wanted to present this.
Yeah, it's how it flattens out too, depending on where it is on the dome. So they boot up at least 5-6 minutes here, so that's good for them.
So guys, I want to get your opinion. Was it a water drop on the lens, or is it something otherworldly? That is the big...
I don't know. Let's have a look for ourselves. I think it is a water droplet. Drop on a dome camera. See what comes up. There we go. 4 steps to keeping a clear dome. Okay, I'm not sure what we can use. Stop on your GoPro. So water is a problem, obviously. We've got some pictures. Aha! Stop water droplets. Okay, you can see clear ones on there. But we want to see what the camera sees, unfortunately. Okay, so that's normally what we see on a shower door, right? Or on a window of the house. And you then see these streak downwards with gravity. When the drops merge and all that sort of business. What's this guy up to? Looks like he's looking at... How to handle water droplets, look it off. Right. Shooting. Clear dome. Doesn't look very clear. So, okay, this is what we're seeing normally on a shower door or window. But so far we've not got any images like Nick West has put up. Still not much happening. You'd think there'd be loads of images of examples, but you can see it's very hard to find. So I'm not sure where Nick found his. Unbelievable. So this is the problem of doing live debunks, of course. You're not guaranteed to find what you're looking for. What's this one here? That's kind of weird looking. Giant pinhole camera. Still no UFOs. None images, maybe there are videos. But yeah, that's no good, is it? Let's try camera. Okay, it's pretty up close. Again, that's on a flat window. And you get perfectly spheres, don't you? No UFOs there, so it's got to be another type of cover. Like a dome. Yeah, it's just a matter of finding examples. Macbeth might only found one, you see. Which is more than Third Phase and other fraud channels did any research on it. Certainly the news channel didn't. No, I don't think we're going to be successful. By all means, go and have a look yourself and get back to us if you do find more examples. That's it. Oh, doesn't like me doing that. Can't keep up, can't keep up. So much for that. There might be videos, of course. GoPro trick, no more water droplets on your dome. So, I'd like to watch that, but might get done by copyright infringement. Gel for dome. So there you go. Let's have a look at that one. So what's gel do? New Zealand. Some stuff you spray on it. What's that meant to do? Heat it up and evaporate it? Water droplet preventer gel for tone. And flat lenses. Hydrophobic solution such as rain which does not prevent smaller water droplets adhering to your dome port. So it repels. I guess it's hydrophobic, means it repels water. So it must be electrically charged, right? You know, water has a charge to it, static charge, and you can actually use a magnet to repel water. So I guess this is what this is doing. But also clear so it doesn't interfere with the video quality. Anti-water droplet. So the news channel needs to get some of that. There we go. Learn something new. It says reduce water droplets, so yeah. It's probably not that great, really, probably. Anyway, moving on. We did do a search, but we couldn't find any examples, unfortunately. Keep on going.
Question, and that's why we present these UFO videos to you. Now, NORAD, they've been making some statements today in regards to what they're capturing with their sensitive systems patrolling the skies. Let's listen to the special report by Doc Skinner.
Yeah, so we probably can't play much of that one. Doc Skinner is no doc. He's not even a doctor. So yeah.
Or been asked to change any of my posture, taskings, or anything, unquote. Air Force General Glenn D. Van Herk, the dual-hated commander of both NORAD and the U.S. Northern Command, NORAD, told reporters Thursday during a roundtable discussion at the Aspen Security Forum.
So I'm not sure where he got that information from, but he's put together a little documentary of what was said. So, since they're taking over this study of UFOs, right, they're claiming here that they haven't changed anything they normally do. Yeah, so...
Washington Post reporter Shane Harris asked
okay, that's where he's got the information from.
about whether there have been any changes in the terms of Homeland Protection as a result of more attention being paid to unidentified aerial phenomenon, as the Pentagon now refers to what was known as unidentified flying objects, or UFOs. Van Herk said no. The answer may seem disconnected considering the efforts to the Pentagon's claims are being made to take the issue seriously and to mitigate any potential risks to national security present.
It does seem a wee bit strange. You think there'd be some changes or improvements, wouldn't you, to that? So that kind of means they're not really taking it seriously, I reckon. It's just another switch, you know, what do you call it, bait and switch, to get more money and to fund what they normally do, is keep an eye on the enemy's drones and stuff.
Kind of action, it would be right here. Now let's get to the next UFO video right now submitted to Third Phase of Moon.
Okay, so is it submitted or is it recycled? Let's see.
Look at this. So the secret vault.
Okay, so secret vault. So it's not submitted. It's really old footage, and we've looked at this one before. And the guy come back with a second video and said he enhanced it, and he said it was definitely a spider web floating in the sky. And yet these guys are still promoting, which means they're disinformation. Instead of putting up, oh, this was debunked, the guy come forward, and we can now scrub this one off. They're still pushing it as a meta propulsion device.
Definitely captured something that's kind of amazing, and I really like his breakdown of the footage.
Now GUFON even hasn't come clean on this one, being he said, oh yeah, they think it's a spider, but the guy actually filmed it with the drone, said it was a spider, because you can see the spider threads. Normally they eject two in a V shape, and they travel underneath it, and once he got rid of the distortion and all that, the blur, what do you call it, motion blur, it was clear as day, a little spider on two threads, right?
That he captured, and we're watching it once again. We're going to leave our opinions here in just a moment, but according to the secret vault, he's actually doing more
comes up about 30 seconds, I think it was, on here.
Of this video. As he stated, he's going to remove the noise. So guys, what is going on? We're seeing it.
And he did, and you're still promoting the same crap without debunking
Again,
it.
come into frame here. Is this some kind of biological organism? It almost looks like...
Here it comes, 30 seconds. See, I got a good memory for this stuff. Yeah, so this is the spider web. That's meant to be a V shape, but it doesn't even look like it. It looks like a shoe.
Thread.
Right. Normally these can be quite big spiders, but you can see a thread coming off it here. But here I pretty think that's distorted with motion. So that's probably the spider body there. It's probably got some web protecting it, right?
Just kind of bundled up, but watching it.
But I have covered this and got what the guy said and looked at his stuff, right? So yeah, spider. I'm not sure we can actually find a picture of one, but they're pretty yucky looking spiders. Certain spiders only do it. Spider web. Let's see if that comes up with something. Images. Okay, so that looks very similar. So they do make little I don't know, little chunk of web they sit in. There you go. There's these spiders. They got big legs on them, and that's what they do. Yucky. Floating, 1.7 floating. There's another one there. So you can see how that would look like a shoe. Can we see the spider? So he's just got hold of the web. Normally they shoot off two fine threads. And basically the threads act like charged antennas, and they can actually move the threads to move which direction they want to go. So they go with wind current initially if it's too strong, but when it comes down they can actually control it with electrostatic. That's what we found out in previous live shows, right? We did some research on it. It's quite interesting stuff. I should have muted the Discord. But they're normally quite long-legged spiders, right? There must be one here that has a web. Picnic table taken over. So, try floating spider. Who's posting? Let me just mute that. I've only got one watching now. Just turn off the beep. Forgot to do that. Yeah, who's posting? Debunk. It looks like someone's joined, but not sure if Plex or anyone's around. Okay, we have to. Could be one of the bots, I'm not sure. Anyway, back to this. Have we got any picture of one floating in the sky yet? There's got to be one here somewhere. Here's one that's sort of leaping, like Tarzan. Is that one making a... How spiders fly? Is that the best picture we got? Oh, here we go. So it shoots off two strands of thread in a V shape, and they end up being electrically charged, so it can actually move one where it wants to go which direction, so it can fly towards a tree, right? You can see how long-legged these spiders are. Yucky. So that's the best one there. Shocking story of the flying spiders. What's happening there? So they make these messy nests in grass. How far can they fly? Charles Darwin first observed them. The beagle was 16 miles off the South American shore. At the time, science was not advanced enough to figure out how they were flying, except to assume that it was all due to wind. Recently, British scientists solved the mystery. It does not have anything to do with wind. In fact, the spiders seem to prefer light wind or calm. The Earth carries a negative charge when the spiders spin their webs. The webs are also negative, and as I'm sure you know, two negative charge objects repel. So when the spiders feel the Earth developing a strong negative charge, they begin to tingle. They begin to spin, and off they go. There you go. Spiders are like Tesla. Clever little shits. Hey. So, we're not going to hear that on this channel though.
Again, in reverse, again, it does seem that it comes from a great distance and into frame next to the drone. It's not like...
It comes from that hedge. Is where we expect to find it. Or in a field near the hedge.
Only takes place in like 1 to 2 seconds. Whatever's coming from the trees is accelerating at tremendous speeds. Let's get another look at this thing. Here.
Yeah, so we've covered this much before, so we're not going to go over it going. So why did they add it on if they're getting so much material, guys, that they have to recycle old crap like this? It's just stupid. So let's move on. I don't think they've got anything new on this, obviously.
Here we have an object
Okay, we got GUFON that has no clue on this stuff.
Good version to show you. Everything looks like a blob now. So I try to think, well, maybe it's like the rubber duck, but interesting.
He's a stupid guy.
Here we have an object that popped up on that satellite that looks at the sun and different versions of.
So now they're trying to compare oranges to apples. And it's nothing to do with it, right? Ice crystals and spider
this
webs.
thing popped up, and it looks like a winged creature. You could see
A winged creature in space. How ridiculous, you know.
I'm telling you, if this is a biological entity near the
Ah, it looks like a shoe in space. High hill.
sun, it is.
So that could be anything. Look how blurry this image is here. It's probably going to be like a reflection of multi-layered glass that they're filming through. They've been through all this stuff before. Yeah, man, it's hosing down outside. So we need to go back. Did we open that up separately? Did we? Yep. Okay, let's go to the latest one. Okay, what's the clickbait titles like? Otherworldly massive UFO over major city. Now, where was that? Because we looked at it. Was that the rain droplet one where they're making the headline for that one? That's why they only got 2,000 likes out of 34. Because people weren't impressed with the clickbait. Whoa, these UFOs are so bizarre, they can't be. Okay, this looks like recycled crap as well. What's happened here? Why has it gone? Oh, right. Looked like it went too big.
Cameras nowadays. Afterwards, is this CGI? William Roberts says.
Okay, what are we looking at here? Clouds over foggy sea, by the looks of it.
He didn't manipulate anything. He filmed it himself, and this is what he captured. We see
Okay, so what do we got?
no any kind of manipulation with the video. It's authentic.
Okay, could be a bird.
Obviously, the cameras nowadays.
Needs to be stabilized.
No, you could zoom in, and then it pixelates a little bit. But he tried to zoom in, and
Looks like there's some flipping going on there, doesn't it?
we see some pixelation.
If it was stabilized, it would probably be more
We
obvious.
know these craft are there, and they're quite large in the
See, I can see flipping.
sky, just hovering there.
But you got to remember they're sort of moving
What
the
is
camera
it?
at the same time.
Brent, what's your thoughts on this William Roberts capture over Peru?
Yeah, it's pretty badass. These sightings coming to
Badass. Bad
us
booty.
on a daily basis from the public, and it's kind of curious. You'll find people that will kind of try to discredit anybody trying to submit a UFO. They'll go ahead and
Yeah, that's so UFO like it ain't funny. Bullshit.
attack the person that's sending it and call them out.
Anyone sent into third phase should be called out because they know they're shills.
As a CGI artist, most people that submit videos have no interest in that. They're just regular people that had their opportune moment to film something, and we should give them all a big applause for getting the information.
This kind of looks like a bird to me.
Now, what did William capture off the coast of Peru? We see these three anomalous objects, and you can tell they're quite some distance
Looks like they might be flying towards the camera too.
out. I would say probably about 1.5 miles to maybe 3 miles. It's pretty far out there. So these aren't typical drones.
Probably seagulls circling around.
Like I said in last night's episode, you can't see a drone probably about 300 yards away. They kind of just fade out of sight. They're not big enough for your eyes to really capture it.
Looks like they're gliding on sea air currents here.
This thing's so far out there, it leans to me that this thing's massive. What are these? Are they USOs?
So what do you think, guys? You think I'm correct here, thinking they're birds? You notice they don't zoom in on them.
Is this what's being seen by the Peruvian Army and Navy? They've captured these things over the ocean, captured them in FLIR video. Now we're capturing this in color due to William submitting this to.
So we got no idea how far away that is, or how big it is.
It's right here at Third Phase.
I'm just gonna say it. Hands down, one of the coolest UFO sightings to date.
And that's why he's useless. Yeah. Why is it flickering then, mate?
This may be better than the green thing we saw a couple
The
of
green thing, what, the stuff you smoke?
days ago from Third Phase, you know? But we do see, and I'm telling you,
3 duckabirds.
what looks to be legitimate disc-shaped UFOs.
Oh yeah, look at the high quality definition there. Yeah, prove it's disc shaped. Okay, let's zoom in on it. Does that look like disc shaped to you? Looks like a bird that's got its wings spread out and its head sort of going downwards to me, in a blurred out, typical UFO fashion.
It's
It helps if the guy would keep his camera still
wild
too.
stuff.
Look, you can see looks like maybe something's wrong with the frame rate. You can see the wings are flipping very quickly.
Gonna zoom in and
I reckon it's probably mucked around with it. Look, it looks like a bird shape now. Gliding downwards, tail fin, it's got its wings
a little
straight.
bit, but
Now it's flipping.
you can see it move at one
Yeah,
point.
something not quite right
It
with this
gives
video.
me, and I know several years
But yeah, I wouldn't say that it's disc shaped by any
ago,
means.
but they didn't have drones like they do
I wouldn't say it was a drone.
now. And
Oscar razor always applied to this stuff.
the way that moves, it gives that little jolt to the right. It kind of
Jolt to the right. That's camera movement, mate. It's not jolting anywhere.
moves like
You can see the camera going boot, 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 and you're getting the jolting that's happening is from rolling shutter. That's why it looks distorted.
a drone would. Drones, commercial
So he's going back and forth, back and forth. That's where you get this strange effect happening.
drones. Well, maybe it's a military drone. Maybe this is the tick.
So he's so wrong, and that's why he's useless.
Spin.
Yeah, so they tried to zoom and enhance it. Again, that looks like 2 birds close together there. 2 ducks.
You can make drones spin, but they don't look like this, man.
But yeah, that sort of break in there is obvious to do with rolling shutter, where it's stretching a bird out.
You would definitely be able to tell. It's just grainy though, and that it's so frustrating. But what a wonderful capture by this guy.
Wonderful capture. So yeah, this shows their benchmark. Okay, so what's the next one?
You got that spin, and then you got like a magnetic force in the bottom where you can see hot.
Okay, that one kind of looks like a drone this time. It's the sort of thing people would be flying around the beach.
So this UFO, it was spotted like a 1 mile from the coastline from Playuela, and I lost it for about 10 miles northeast of the Secheo.
Okay.
Video goes for about 10 minutes, but it won't let me load it up in WhatsApp. So you be the own judge.
You notice this one's not flickering and jolting everywhere, because there's not that movement going left and right. It looks like he's filming through a car window there, right? There's a water droplet. And some dirt on the window. There's some water droplets there. Okay. It's funny how we're talking about water droplets today.
Make your own judgment, I don't know.
Yeah, looks like a drone. Okay, so I'm just trying to see if it's on an angle, because UFOs don't need to be on an angle, they need to be level all the time, because they use gravity, anti-gravity, right? What's going on there? Looks to me like it's tilting. See, the way it's tilting is typical drone, isn't it?
Now let's take it out to the UK. Ollie, Alien Addict, what's your thoughts?
This is interesting. It's
Okay, so these are recycled, obviously. I think we've seen this one before.
It's got no wake in the water whatsoever. That's the most compelling thing about this. Not the fact that
Wake. I don't think it's even near the water. Okay, that's optical illusion, right?
it takes off, because if it had a wake, it's flare.
Yeah, they have these waterproof drones that can actually come from the water.
Footage. I'd say that that's an aeroplane of some kind.
I don't think so. Look, it's got that slope to it. The planes don't fly on a slope like that.
Small radio control or really far out in the distance. An aeroplane. You just can't see the wings. And when you look at flare footage, you really can't usually see the wings of an aeroplane. But it's the fact that there is no wake.
I would say, yeah, there's a possibility it could be a plane, but the angle is always on a slight angle going downwards. Doesn't make sense for a plane.
What's really interesting about this,
of course, it looked like it was going back and forth there, circling.
Is that there is no wake. You can't see any wake.
Yeah, did he move the camera back
in
there?
The water as this thing takes off. If there was a wake, I'd say that's an aeroplane.
So what happened there? See that? How it sort of went zoom and then round this way.
Hands down. What?
See, that looks like it's stopped. It's not moving the camera.
What I want to see is people posting.
So what happened there? Went straight down.
Flare footage to Third Phase of Moon to Alien Addict.
So damn drone. Someone's flying one around a beach. Probably the safest place to fly one, probably. Alright, let's just move on. Dark hour. It's gonna talk crap about it. Okay, let's still talking about it.
Yeah, what's up, guys? To everybody in the chat, great to see you again. What is this? Look at this broad daylight sighting. It does look metallic, like Blake just said earlier.
Is that the same image? I think that's something different, isn't it?
Ahí está en el mismo punto.
Okay. Something different. Okay, I think we've looked at this one before too. What was it now? Filmed the wrong way too, which is annoying. Could it be one of those hot air balloons? Sort of has that shape to it. It kind of looks like a blimp, doesn't it? There's that undercarriage you can see there. It sort of has that tear shape to it. Let's see what they're going to say.
Getting a closer.
Okay, looks like it's got something underneath.
Look at this Colombian sighting of what appears to be a metallic flying saucer.
Don't know what they're saying. Metallic. You can't tell what it is.
Captured in broad daylight. It's kind of weird because when you
It does seem like a funny shape there.
looking at it, when you get a closer look, it seems to shape shift in a way.
Focus. Could it be one of those UFO balloons?
It has this arrow shape.
But yeah, it doesn't look symmetrical.
Look in the beginning, then it kind of turns into a disc shape. Is this thing
Could it be one of those fishing
working up
kites?
there? What the heck is it?
Kind of looks like a bird shape, doesn't it?
It's not a drone, in my opinion. Brent, I want to get your thoughts, and also thank you everybody for joining us in this live premiere.
Now they do have some funny shaped balloons down that way for festivals, so could it be one of those balloons they send up with fireworks?
Mirror, we want to get your comments as well. Brent, go ahead. Yeah, what's up, guys? To everybody in the chat, great to see you again. What is this? Look at this broad daylight sighting. It does look metallic, like Blake just
I don't know about that.
said earlier. I do notice there's some sort of like escort next to this object. You
where's
can
it
see
gone?
it right above the top right hand of this craft. Could this
I
be
lost it.
an escort drone? It's super tiny. Look at it. If we're
It does look UFO-like there, I must admit.
looking at this object, it does look like it does have some size to it. The original saucer itself, I'm estimating it to be maybe about 30 to 40 feet. And looking at this other object, it almost looks like maybe a size of a football, the escort. What's your opinion, Blake?
Could it be a bunch of balloons?
Yeah, I'm going to get a little enhancement here, get a little still photograph.
Could be a bunch of Mylar balloons, actually. I'm pretty sure I've looked at this one before. See, it does have that set of circular lumps underneath, right? If it's a Mylar balloon, it's going to look metallic, right? Bunch of Mylar balloons, and one's got away. That one there seems to be a loose one.
Of this craft, you see it, it's escort.
So it's reflecting sun there. Looks like a chunk checking out of it, but that kind of looks like Mylar balloons.
The other ship, what is this? It seems super tiny in comparison to this disc-shaped metallic
one now.
object.
Let's find it again. Where are you? Way down there now.
And what's up with these broad daylight sightings coming out of South
Doesn't seem to be doing anything though.
America? Why are we seeing these flying discs in America anymore? Why is it only in the South American region now?
Okay, that would explain why it looks strange there. Typical of shape shifting is Mylar. Well, a bunch of balloons anyway, but this one would be a bunch of Mylar balloons. Probably not all circular ones. There'd probably be some weird shaped ones there, like heart shape and other shapes. That's why it looks a bit strange.
Are the UFOs in America upgrading?
Well, I have a photograph for you that was just submitted to me
Okay.
via Sean. He reached
Okay,
out
so this
via
is recycled
Gmail,
garbage
and
still.
He said he was looking for answers. He captured this photograph. He noticed an object that he says, please
He's
find
out there still
attached.
with
This
us.
picture of a craft he photographed.
Everybody's gone. How are we going for time anyway? We've still got a chunk to do. Always stuff to do. Yeah, where's how long have we been going for? Seems like a while now. Hour and 40 minutes. Damn. Time flies when you're having fun. But we'll go through it. Keep on going.
Photographed a few weeks back. He says the craft moved over the ocean at a huge speed, then stopped instantly.
Okay, so this was that heart-shaped balloon that I looked at, wasn't it?
As it reached the beach. He said it stood stationary for about 10 seconds, and that's when the photo was taken. What we're looking at right now is incredible. Look at the detail on this. He says then it disappeared back to the way it came at a massive speed. At the time, he only saw a single craft, but on inspection, he says he sees some kind of unknown object in the 4 o'clock position. He said he sent it to us for 2 reasons. Firstly, the shape of the craft is very unique. Absolutely, Sean. I have never seen a craft that looks like this in all my years.
But what we're seeing is not what really is what we're meant to be seeing. Again, it could be a bunch of balloons, but it's not matching the story, so...
Doing this archive collection from the public. It's kind of interesting. He says, secondly, I would really like a professional opinion on what it might be. Well, as we say, we're not experts here. We're just giving out the information. We do leave our opinions, but let me tell you, we're not experts. We're just experts at getting the information out as fast as possible.
Could be a drone, couldn't it? And... it could be the propellers here, there, right? But what's this underneath?
And again, this was just submitted just within...
That would explain why it can move quite fast. So I'm flying a drone around. Obviously it's not what we're seeing, or not what we're really seeing. It's probably reflecting off something. So they look more solid, these end bits here. Could be some drone with a camera payload underneath. It's a bit hard to see without the original video.
24 hours. So we're happy to share Sean's incredible photograph. Now, Brant, what's your thoughts on this incredible, craft? It's very, very bizarre. You kind of see this wing shape, fins on the top, like it almost resembles. I don't even know what it resembles, Brent. Any idea? What kind of meta-propulsion craft is this?
Yeah, guys, anybody in the chat, let us know if you've ever seen anything like this. I sure have it. This is very unique, as Sean said. I noticed kind of like 3 shark fins at the top of this.
Let's look
and
at
then
photographs
the folded
only.
wing edge down at the bottom. And then this conical shape that kind of looks like it could be the propulsion at the end of it. It's very weird, and I do believe there's no Photoshop. What we're looking at is the real deal. I really like Shane's description on what he saw. Again,
yeah, so we might be seeing a drone, and we got some motion blur, maybe rolling shutter happening. So that's my best explanation for this one. I don't think that's UFO-like in any way. It's certainly not a TR-3B, is it? Or a classic flying saucer. Now let's just move on. It could be like an RC type plane though, with some motion blur added to it. Could be one of those, what you call it, racing drones, right?
Move unless they're tethered. It depends on the weight, what they're made of, what altitude they're at, how windy it is.
Okay, so he's talking about balloons, and that's what I said it was, wasn't it? That's the same one? Yep. So it doesn't look like it's really drafty, windy there, though, does it?
All sorts of elements play havoc with balloons. This one, it's keeping in the same...
Which could be a bunch of balloons on fishing wire, you know. Someone might be just using it like a fishing balloon. But we got no idea whereabouts it is. It might be over a lake, river, even the sea, right? You could have a few hooks going down, dangling into it.
It's in the same spot, if I could speak.
Does look like land here, but this could be behind. There could be something behind all this.
Okay, this is just awesome on every level. Just awesome. Again,
just an awesome bunch of balloons.
The public submitting. There is no agenda from the public. It's strange.
How does he even know that? It could have even been set up by the woman to film it to send it into Jamie, my son, where they get paid $300 like they do for the magazines, right? It's a good way to make some money, you know.
Strangers sending stuff in the third phase of moon.
Yeah, send it the third phase of the moon because you want to prank them.
And GUFON, Dark Hour, and so on. And we pick and choose the...
Pick and choose, that's the problem. Okay, so let's move on. What else we got?
Broad daylight. Earlier today, I asked Brandon Smith to return to the area where he captured this anomaly, this UFO, the day before to see if it was still there and give us a report of what he experienced, what caught his eye. Before we get to the incredible video that Brandon has submitted to Third Phase of Moon, and you're going to see it for the first time.
I'll show you in a minute.
Yeah, we analysed this guy before, right? Which looked like some sort of accident on a roadside up the mountain. Yeah, this one. I remember this one.
Up there in the sky went.
Okay, so this is his story account, but he could be lying. So why didn't anyone else capture this, especially on security cameras aimed that direction?
And it stayed.
So why didn't he capture it? Why didn't he have a tripod going?
Right there. And I said, holy shit, I gotta go get my camera. And I went right in the house and I grabbed my camera and I came out, and what you guys seen is...
So what, he may have seen something, but what he filmed here was definitely something on the roadside.
Where it was. And I steadily recorded it, and it was like 6:37 in the morning. It's time-stamped on my phone. And it was like, you know, 20-some degrees, so I had to get pants and clothes.
Alright, let's just skim it on a bit. Okay.
In broad daylight. Could it be...
Okay, that looks like emergency vehicle lights. Some truck or icy roads.
Some kind of anomaly that's coming from the mountain.
Car accident. So... maybe what he saw was a helicopter coming down. Maybe it sort of landed on the road.
Itself, from the surface.
To, like, an emergency helicopter, right? To airlift a car accident victim. I bet that's what it was. These guys don't use the apps, like I keep telling people to use the apps. This is typical type footage that you get from UFOs over Las Vegas guy, Steve Barone. He would always film helicopters, rescue helicopters and police helicopters, practicing or landing or lifting up stuff. This definitely looks like it could be a helicopter and
But if
emergency
you recall the
vehicles.
eyewitness's testimony, what Brandon states is that this thing was flying around at a high rate of speed. So if this is the case, then it is definitely something that needs to be further.
Not to cut him off, but holy mackerel, this thing is rather amazing to me. When I look at this, I don't...
What a shill that guy is. Anyway, we'll just have a quick listen to what he's got to say.
Really, I can't really tell what it is. You know,
it's amazing, but he can't tell what it is. So why is it amazing?
and he does a great job of zooming in and whatnot.
Yeah, that's really bluffo, high quality HD.
Let me back it up just a little bit.
You know, if you had a P1000 proper camera, I think you probably could zoom right into that and see what it is.
And we can just look at it together and I'll go over it with you. It looks like it is stationary. It doesn't look like it's moving.
I think I tried to find the location where he was at, and there was a lot of roads, dirt roads going up the mountain, which they have ice on them.
Whatever it was, it either landed there.
Yeah, exactly. Helicopter.
Or crashed there. It looks like it probably landed. But I talked to the Cousins brothers about this in some detail, and we tried looking for maybe trails that would lead up here. They asked me what I think it might be, and I said, well, maybe it was a photo shoot. Somebody went up the hill, right, and set up a photo shoot to have a nice backdrop of the
He's just guessing. I bet there's a road that runs along there. Anyway.
There's no easy way to get in it.
That's a bit clearer. Does look like a road going up here. And looks like a road coming along here, doesn't it? Two roads.
In and out. This is one of the best
UFO videos he's seen.
And I don't know what it is. This is one of the best unknowns that I've seen.
You can see the mystery lights flashing there. Anyway, just garbage again. Oh god, that guy put a strike on my channel. What an asshole. Okay.
That the government's gonna fly secret
Meta-propulsion nonsense. Okay, so I thought this was going to be a lot better tonight. But yes, this normal recycled garbage that we've been over many times before. Although I didn't pick up maybe a helicopter, I'm not sure. Sometimes it's best to look at it a second time. But it's definitely an emergency vehicle there. Okay, so let's just have a look at GUFON stuff here. And this one here. So this is doing the rounds as a real UFO. Looks very similar to, again, what's his name? Carlos Diaz. So it looks like someone's copied it. But this apparently was a glass blower lampshade with dye added to it to make these dark stripes on it, and someone's probably taken the image of it and made a movie out of it. But let's have a watch of it. Okay, a lot of people believe this is real footage, but it's actually CGI. If you can't tell just by that alone, that what we just saw. Let's just keep on going. You can see here it's very dark, very easy to CGI it with a fake sky, dark, no detail foreground. Definitely CGI. Now, this is definitely from Carlos Diaz, where he had a torch that aimed up at the lampshade to make it look like a beam was coming down. And this guy's obviously copied it. Oh, it's shut off. Yeah, so again, it's behind dark trees here. Very similar to Carlos Diaz. He tried to film his lampshade behind trees like this. And this guy's claiming what to be the same thing. I don't know. We'll find out in a minute. Quite well done, but what's it say here? What's it say? CG! Computer generated by JWST HC Mexico 2009. YouTube Lid Rack. I'm sure I've seen that guy around. Juicy3dwebs.com. So he's advertising his handiwork. There you go. So it's just so that was obviously the source. People, what they do is they cut it up and get rid of the credits, and they put it up as a UFO video on their Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube without permission, of course. Anyway, just thought I'd show you that one. Quite well done. But, yeah, it just shows how simple it is to fake stuff. So, what's the Brighton's UFOs? Well, obviously, Brighton is the Brighton Pier in UK. Where they got a lot of fun rides. So, yeah, let me have an opinion on that one, because it's quite interesting. We'll just use GUFON because he's got it up here, and his opinion is quite laughable at times. Okay, just go back a bit.
I got the right video. Nope.
It's got the wrong video. Keep on going, here we go.
30 years. The last 12 years of my service was on the air support unit, working on the...
Okay, so these are cops in the air in UK.
Police and
John
ambulance
Tinker?
helicopter.
Yeah.
Okay, so they filmed this so-called UFO in full mantle. Obviously got to investigate it in other people, being in UK.
As far as I remember, it was a normal day. It was a night shift.
He's a bit of a juggy, is this guy, isn't he?
Through until 2 o'clock in the morning, and we just had a normal shift. It was a fairly clear night, and still like quite a pleasant, typical August summer evening.
We were then heading back towards Shoreham, which is about 12 miles away.
It's normal.
So this is obviously sea and beach and pier.
Practice for us, just to, instead of just going from one place to another and focusing on the home part, because we're an emergency service, we'll listen into the police radios in the...
So, police and search and rescue by the sounds of it.
Sounds as we pass them, and just generally look about.
So they have thermal and stuff for trying to spot out people in the water and stuff to rescue them.
And what I was doing that night was I was operating the thermal image camera.
Okay, so this is the Brighton Pier with the sea around it, and they have all these fun rides and theatres and all that sort of stuff on the sea there.
Just looking around, casting around the Brighton area that we're part.
Okay, and that's right to the end of it. And there's certain rides and like a circus tent or something.
Radios, just to see if anything that...
There you go, like you can see that weird ride that goes up and down like a hammer.
Was going to happen, that we were ready for and briefed about, so that we knew what was going on.
John's crew were nearing the end of their work.
So, it's obviously BBC that don't like this stuff being used, so we've got to be careful here. We've already probably been caught out on it.
Or did they? I don't remember.
So you can see it's well lit up. Yeah, all these TV companies like BBC and Hollywood don't recognise fair use ever, and they don't like you pulling apart their stuff.
Work out what the lights are, or where they are, or where they're going, and put it on the thermal image camera, and you get a lovely silhouette of the aircraft.
Yeah, so this is what they got on thermal.
Or the helicopter, and you can actually work out.
I have some theories what I think it is.
Hey Dorothy, that's an interesting question. Actually, this was popular, and it was on the news, and
obviously because they're making a documentary about it. So so it looks vertical, right? And it's obviously got some heat source.
it's in documentary.
And where do we see things that are vertical that have heat sources? So my thinking is, what we're looking at is one of these things, which we know the police and military, especially in South America and Puerto Rico, have been caught out on these things before. The heart-shaped ones, it looks very similar. Let's see, sky lanterns. We're looking at one of these, right? Kind of looks like that's something that's really big and long. There could be any shapes and size, and homemade ones. And that's the sort of thing people have like a bonfire at a beach and lit one off for weddings and parties. It doesn't have that quite shape to it though, but let's see what we can find out. We want one that's like a cylinder. I bet there are ones out there, but doesn't mean that someone hasn't made one. Okay, here we go. In go. I reckon we're looking at something like this one here. Okay. I bet that's what it was. Straight away, you know. Oscom's razor again, simplest answer. Get multiple colour ones, and of course the heat source, your light source you're going to see here, doesn't necessarily light up the whole thing. You might just see a blob of light on normal camera. On thermal you see all the heat, where it's hotter inside, right? So I reckon that's what we're looking at. Cylinder shape sky lanterns. And there they go. So let's see if that's what it looks like on this video. And of course Philip Mantel wouldn't have a clue.
It's in some TV shows, you know, like Unsolved Mysteries, things like that.
And of course it didn't zoom off or simply stop. It seemed to glide past them and all that. Just like a Chinese lantern would with the breeze, right? And the helicopter rotors steering it up.
Not in Unsolved Mysteries, but shows like that. And you know why it just gets put away to the wayside?
Because it's easy debunked.
Because what else can you say about it?
Well, I said a lot about it, and you said nothing about it. GUFON.
I'm surprised people don't talk about this more often. This sighting is it's really phenomenal. You got cops, you got witnesses, you have video,
which all can be mistaken what they're seeing.
here and regular. It doesn't get much better, Dorothy, and everybody. It doesn't get much better.
Occasion, I found it on the camera.
Now look, it's on an angle. Typical of a wind gust pushing it more at the bottom of it, right? And you can see flickering.
Down onto it, and it was a cylinder. It's
Yep, we just found cylinder sky lanterns.
So that object right there is.
Notice how square looking it looks at the top here. Alright, looks like it's got something underneath, even like the candle thing. Look, it looks like it's got something underneath. Looks identical to the image I just brought up. This one here, it's got something underneath. It has a square top on it. Same with these ones. Look, and on normal camera, far away, you're going to see this as a light source, and you won't see the rest of it in the dark. I think I'm correct.
This object.
I don't know if it was debunked as a sky lantern, but that's what I see. Let's see what comes up. Brighton. UFO. They call it Chinese lantern. See what comes up. United Kingdom. It's amazing how lots of different disinformation like this can carry on. Orange lights, yeah, that would be orange. Reticle in the sky. 3 orange lights would be 3 Chinese lanterns. Brighton's UFO, the odd sighting spotted by a policeman. August 2000. Let's see. Oh, right, it's a video. Probably what he's playing. Ah, 500,000 views, right. I'm only going to get 500,000 views on mine because I've sort of debunked it. Just looking at it. It's the sort of thing I'm good at. Visual stuff. But has anyone said it's a... Oh, here we go. Lit off a stream of flying lanterns. Hundreds of people who thought they were seeing UFOs have been duped by pranksters. UFO tower was just hot air. Is that the same thing though? Oh, another case. Sussex Police Air Traffic Controllers. There we go. Exactly the same scenario, isn't it? There you go, it can be bought easily. So this looks like it was in America. But again, it was police and all that being fooled. Although it says Sussex there, is that in America or Shoreham? Sounds definitely like UK there. Now they're mixing UFO reports here. And then it talks about readers as far as field as Texas contacted us to discuss the strange orange lights. Orange lights should be a giveaway. So is this Brighton one orange lights? So we have to find out. Does he tell us in this?
That we just looked at right here. But it's with the FLIR camera now.
Or not.
Okay, look, you can see flickering.
So now it looks like a cylinder when he zooms in on it, which is fascinating.
I found it on the camera, brought the camera around onto it.
The
and
angle of
was
it looks really
cylinder.
like a Chinese lantern.
Difficult to say how big it was.
Very difficult at night time.
You can see how big they are. They're like human size. So.
In the dark to judge distances and size of things, and all we could see was this light, so we didn't have a clue how big it was.
So they're saying light. So what colour was it?
At night, you can't tell how close it is. You know, it could be very,
Philip Nantle. That must have been quite a few years ago. He looks a lot younger
very,
there.
very close. It could be very, very.
Philip
far in the
Mantle's
distance.
well respected,
That's the
huh?
problem with any video.
Oh, I don't know about respected. He does promote some shills.
Footage of lights at night.
He's one of the.
John's
He's a good
camera was
guy.
now kept.
That's Jason. What's his name? The fake video analysis guy. He promoted his books.
Fully tracking the object's path, giving his crew the images they needed to solve the mystery.
Initially, it did give the impression of moving quite quickly and away from us, so we were kind of moving.
Looks so much like the Puerto Rico one.
Actually see that on the video.
See how fast it's going because of parallax.
But it does seem to be, we do seem to be chasing it around. And that was quite odd to start with, that it gave the impression it was moving very fast.
We had sight.
Which you can get if the helicopter blades are stirring up the wind. Airflow.
And either it passed us or we passed it. It went down the starboard side of our aircraft.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
Oh, look at that. It's a Chinese lantern.
We were curious as to what it was.
Whoa.
Because we
That's so Chinese lantern.
we need to know
Paul's cracked it again.
safety grounds,
What?
really, what's in our airspace.
You gotta be kidding me. Look how close it got.
It was quite odd to start with, but it gave the impression it was.
That just shows you what a shield this guy is. He has got no clue whatsoever to analyse anything.
Moving very fast.
Hey.
We had sight of it, and either it passed us or we passed it. It went down the starboard.
See, the cops don't even know what they saw. And they couldn't tell what size it was. Just that it was a light in the distance. It's set in orange, I think. Must be orange.
Oh, here we go.
Go on, where is the colour one?
We were curious.
So, I mean, we could take a look at this.
Duh.
Obviously, cylinder,
No.
straight up and down. This is just I would have to say like lens flaring from the brightness of this, you know, the object at night. It's just,
Well, it's slightly overexposed.
it's just trying to compensate, bring in the light at night. That's all this is.
It's warmer than outside temperature anyway.
Buzz. So, I have a sighting, one of my own.
Oh, that'll be fun to have a look over. But I don't remember them saying what colour it was.
Where it's 30
Keeps
something
inter-
years, 40 years, he said, retired.
There's a bit in a helicopter.
And, Scott,
Oh, God.
I was going to bring that up.
Come on, stop interrupting it.
The same thing I was thinking.
Very good quality photographic equipment. Films an anomalous object at night. Both
What
with
colour?
night vision and ordinary. So that's why, you know, people become interested in it, because police officers, you know, respected members of the community, not likely to make up stories.
To believe it because it's come from a reliable source.
It was something so unique to them, when bear in mind they're in the air all the time.
And a lot of people get fooled by Chinese lanterns of different shapes and sizes. You even get one shaped like football, we found out.
That they perceived it as being extremely strange.
Which is orb shaped, which you would say was a UFO too.
When you see it on the film, it looks extremely bizarre. It's an unusual shape. It quite clearly is there. And it quite clearly gets quite close to the helicopter. It was corroborated by the other people.
Glow red, he said. Orange red.
In the helicopter. You know, it's a very puzzling case.
Not
A bit
really.
of dinner.
I was very pleased in some ways.
All right, so everybody's happy.
So they said glowing red, didn't they? Let's see if we can find any other reports on it. Brighton UFO. Obviously Chinese landing hasn't been suggested because it didn't ring up anything. What colour? American, UK spelling. Does it say here? Team of Sussex Police. So that's, it actually did, didn't it? It talked about Sussex sighting being Chinese lanterns, so it has been solved then. Since, hey, that means I got it right then. Stupid ads. Why is that coming up? Anyone say Chinese lanterns here? Oh, there you go. 918. It looked like a Chinese lantern here, but I don't know. A dot at the bottom of the cylinder. Yep, which is the heat source. That's what I saw too. Water heaters. Don't understand that one. Crop circles, what's that got to do with it? Fleet UFOs. I'm pretty sure the other one we found was talking about the same thing. So it must have been confirmed as a prank of Chinese lanterns. Did GUFON even do any research on it? I don't think so. They have the idea of a hot air balloon, which is currently like a Chinese lantern. John tracked the Chinese lantern used sophisticated technology of the police helicopters, said the narrator reading the correct script. What are they talking about there? I have seen several Chinese lanterns at night and day. I have seen something I cannot identify both at night. Yeah, but they're talking about other sightings. Okay, their own personal ones. Flan rods. So that does look like there is suggestion of lanterns here. 7 months ago, 6 months. So I'm not the only one then, which is good. They need to try and recreate the sighting by using another lantern or a hot air balloon. Well, they need to buy those ones I found online. Video of a circle being made by two glowing orbs. I'm not sure what he's talking about there. Oh, is that the fake one where the UFO or CGI flying over top of the field and seeing the crop circles being made? Definitely a Chinese skylighting. Look at the colour, video footage when it passes in front of the street lights. We haven't seen that. You can see the flame flickering. There you go. GUFON, you're useless. You just have to do some basic research, man. I wonder if you can see this footage. How do we get to it? So it's embedded ad. It's the same one, isn't it? And we just did a quick search on it. Closer of the theme park on the pier. Yeah, it's definitely the same footage. And that guy made 500,000 views at it. Wow. There we go. Colour footage. It's not very good. Crosshair of the camera. We're looking at the little white dot, is it? There we go. Looking at that little dot.
Over Brighton.
Oh yeah, looks like it might be flickering.
over any town or city. That's
Yeah, getting more orangey colour.
general aviation is
Oh look, you can see the flickering.
not permitted that low. Commercial
There you go. Orange, and it's flickering. Yeah, definitely Chinese lantern. So we can move on from that one. Because I got to wrap up soon, I need to go to the toilet. So there you go, cylinder Chinese lanterns. Who would have thought? Not this guy.
Pleased. All right, we got the video. So
A particle of some.
Okay, so he's trying to compare it to oranges again with third face rubbish.
horizontal.
So he's saying this is exactly the same UFO.
I mean vertical. Stupid I am.
Okay, this was in Switzerland, and that was actually a green bottle hot air balloon. Scott Brando found, or was it Mick West found the original footage, up close footage of the filmmaker.
I am really Joe Biden tonight.
And it's still being aired as a UFO on this channel, which is what I call disinformation again. So I'm not sure if you can find it, but it's a green bottle of some sort of brand. Swiss bottle. See, you never know, you might get lucky. Hot air. Balloon. It's quite big. There's a little small basket underneath it. You don't see the people in it. And far away, it looks like a UFO. So, none of those ones, obviously. Never know, I might get lucky. There's a strange shaped one. Gnome, another strange shaped one. Throat's getting a bit dry and I've got a drink here. Bad planning, Paul. But I have got, oh here we go, we've got Coca-Cola. So it's something similar to that, but far away. But yeah. There's another strange shaped one. And another really strange shaped one. What's that meant to be? Hey, what's that meant to be? A shuttlecock? Weird. Cola, again. And there's champagne, but it's not that one. Look how big that is. You know, there's the basket underneath. Far away, you're not going to see that. One that's shaped like some strange bottle. Here we go. No, a clock of some sort. So I don't know what that is. Swiss clock, maybe. Here we go. Wasn't that one? Come on, give us a green bottle. It's a green. There's a green frog. Looks like we're not going to get lucky. Green, maybe. Yeah. Still not happened. It's getting closer. That's not that one. But never know, I might be able to find it on. It's got Randos. If you do a search of his, you might be able to find it again. Let's see. Swiss. You never know. It might come up as long as it hasn't been archived. Up here. It's got UFO of interest. Let's see what happens. No results. Have I got his name right? .org. Don't think that's on the end. No. UFO of interest. Okay. Try Swiss. What's that? Donut UFO over Switzerland. Okay, that's not what we're looking for. It's a few years old now. That's when they recycle things, so. Yeah, it's not coming up. Let's see. Try hot air. It was worth a try. Okay, hot air. That's South America. Peanut shaped one. Another balloon. Yeah, that one. The forklift balloon. That was on. There's another one too. Hot air balloon taken with a potato camera. That's another one of these weird bottle ones. Here we go. So it's this bottle here, I think. It looks kind of green in the video. The handy hot air balloon. CH, is that Switzerland? Yeah, so here you go, Switzerland, that's the one. So Tyler, the Shill was doing it too. There we go. That's it. Third phase, is it? No. Oh yeah, third phase, there you go. And still, you got GUFON that's promoting their garbage for them over and over again. Just not telling people the truth. I'll grab that one and post a link to it. It's about time that guy got educated on what he's seeing. It's very annoying. Swiss balloon. There's not a Chinese landing. Right, there you go. So you can actually find stuff. How come? Oh right, he didn't put Swiss in. What did I search on? He put Switzerland. He put the full name in. That's why it didn't come up. There we got there. Let's try that actually. Swiss handy. I think he put in quotes, didn't he? Swiss handy, whatever that means. Oops, what's happening there? It didn't come up in the search even. Nope. Swiss knife campaign. Okay. Anyway, just moving on. Because I gotta go to the toilet. So this one's a Swiss one, exactly the same, what we just debunked.
Did we get a close-up of this?
Sure.
There we go.
Over a mountain range.
Wow, well, that's interesting. Look at this thing. Is it a balloon? There's a little thing coming out the bottom, just like the UFO we just saw.
A little thing coming out the bottom. Right, that should be a clue straight away, GUFON. A basket.
No, I don't know about that.
In Switzerland.
That's in Switzerland.
I'm going to try and butcher the name. I guess it goes by Oberseen. If any...
Well, that's interesting. It sure as hell is.
No, it's not.
Europe in Switzerland. Maybe they're coming out right now. This is a great...
Makes you wonder.
Shills, forever shills.
What is this?
Fast. I'm going to have to say it's not any kind of bird or drone.
On to another one, aren't we? What are we looking at?
Maybe a particle of some kind of flower or...
A little thing that's flying upwards. Could be anything, like a balloon, couldn't it?
No, possibly. Or maybe an insect. I think that this insect is a little high up there.
Okay, it kind of looks like it's a balloon going upwards.
It's not a bird, so I'm digging this footage. And again, we're watching it in slow motion right here. But let's a really weird shape there. Bro, what's your thoughts here?
Okay, so we just looked at Scott's one. He had this one up just before, actually. Another hot air balloon, apparently.
I was just looking for that vertical one. I guess it's another video, the shoe. But that first one I showed you was pretty...
Yeah, the shoe one is referring to the spider thing.
Pretty interesting. All right, here we go. Let's see. I believe it's right here. It's bizarre. Yeah, here it is.
Yeah,
Just
here we
under...
go. Yeah, so we already covered that bullshit. He's saying it's...
I'm sorry. Quarter of...
He's saying it's a UFO. And he laughed at the spider web thing.
Enormous hovering crab. Oh, that's... Objects. No, it's at night.
Let's see what his videos are and give opinion on them. Oh, here we go. Dots in the sky. Typical GUFON 2005.
Right. Whoa.
Dots in the sky that aren't going to be really high quality. Lots of movement there, GUFON.
Right by a star.
Lots of hand movement. So we don't know if it's moving or what. But I think it's him moving.
That is unreal to me. January 6th. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Somebody call Schiff. Somebody call Pelosi.
There we go. Steadied it now. So, is it a square? It doesn't look like it, does it?
Yeah.
There it looks like a square.
That was
There it looks like a circle.
really bright.
So that could be a Chinese lantern again, couldn't it?
It didn't flash. But look what time...
Where's it gone? So you got a motion, some blur, and it's not really good.
Right after sunset.
Too much
about
movement.
An hour after sunset.
So hour after sunset, generally that's where the light's shining off satellites, isn't it?
Hour and a half. Is it a satellite? I don't know, man. I watched that thing just appear.
Which could be a satellite when the angle just is changing enough. In fact, it could be the early space station. He's not using any apps back then. I don't think they were available back then. But there may have been some early sky watching apps, software for PC, that would have told him. So this is GUFON's UFO claims.
And it was kind of hanging out for a minute. You can tell by this star over here, it's barely moving. Now.
Yeah, but if it's moving away from him, he's in the right angle, and then it sort of bends around the horizon. Could easily be a satellite, couldn't it?
Oh, it's starting to move.
Could also be
It
a
got
plane.
bright. Whoa! It just got bright.
Could be a plane coming in to land, and it's just caught the sun rising or setting. Did he say?
Now it's going by. Look how much faster it's moving now. That's a good one. That's a good sighting.
If it's far enough away and docked in the sky like that, you ain't gonna see all the flashing lights on a plane.
That's a really good sighting. I'm going to save that one. Yep. No, that's a good one.
It's a joke. It really is a joke. What can you do with these people in ufology?
That is a good sighting.
And they're conning all these people, all these grifters on the side from Third Phase.
I think I found it.
Well, not grifters, but probably needy people that needs proof of their sighting.
I think I found it.
He's found it, guys. He's found it.
Let's see if this is it. I think this is it.
Duh. He doesn't even know he's doing videos.
This is it. I called it stacked lights. The lights are stacked, not you watch. Chris Rogers with the £2, £2. Remember the Concorde video with the.
Yeah, I don't get donations, but I certainly wouldn't be reading out every one you get.
The orb going like this. Yeah, people are trying to say it was dust on the lens, and every time.
No, it wasn't dust on the lens. It was a bit of dust on the film itself, stuck on with electrostatic, and then it flings off. And it's like the old movie projectors, as I already run analysis on it. It lined up perfectly where normally the rollers go for 16mm, feeding through the film.
Time they focused, it moved the light. I should pull that up and see if that.
Someone said it was reflecting in the window, but the plane was changing angle to the sun at the time, and the reflection in the window is actually just the glint of the sun. So yeah, a lot of so-called computer specialists have all been conned on that one.
That's true. Yes, I do remember Chris Rogers with another £2, £2.
Get on with it. Show us your video, you dork. Don't worry about the $2.
Okay. I'm telling you, man. I've got.
Okay, this one kind of looks like it could be Chinese lanterns this time.
The best archives of UFOs in ufology.
Bullshit.
You've only seen a piece of it. Like.
I've got the 2 best videos.
Corbell said, it's only the tip of the iceberg. I've got the weirdest shit on video. Can it all be?
Yeah, that's true. He's got weird shit. That's
Be
it.
explained, maybe. But what is this?
Come on, play it and stop talking.
What is this? I'll play it again. 30.
Okay, it's blinking like it's a Chinese lantern. And it's one of those tall ones again, where the bottom is hotter than the top. And he's moving up and down. I'm not too sure what artifacts these handy cams had. Whether they had interlacing problems or whatever. This one looks like it's hotter at the bottom than it is at the top. Or it's, well, it's glowing, I should say, because this camera wouldn't be thermal, so it will be seen as light.
First saw it.
So it could be 2 Chinese lanterns close together, of course.
Appeared.
But it looks like it's all
now
one
I'm
thing.
due west, from what I remember.
That's blinking like a Chinese lantern.
Anybody?
Yep, Chinese lantern.
This is 2005, yo.
Yo. And that other one we just looked at with the pilots was 2000. And it's going to be one of those long cylinder Chinese lanterns.
I've been sky watching about 1 year exactly.
And it still hasn't learnt anything. Again, they didn't have apps back then for tracking planes
Again.
or satellites very much.
I'm telling you people, there's a reason why I'm here.
Yeah, to make money.
It's not because I want to bitch and complain.
Chinese lantern, look, so Chinese lantern. Just wondering why it's just not picking up the orange and red, but then we saw on the police one it was exactly the same, wasn't it? Looked really white from a distance until they got up close. So I'd say it'd be something to do with optics and the camera itself. And atmospherics, of course. Yeah, that's Chinese lantern. Okay, next. So where's your next best one? Let's see if we can skim bits. Oh, here we go. Next one. Now this one's a bit more interesting. Saying it's a TR3B, no doubt. That one needs to be run through some filters to see if there's any changes in the background. Or if they're separate, but it looks like they might be on the same object. I don't think they're changing distances, are they?
There. Right
I don't know.
there. Now, I don't think it.
Keep it still. Where's this tripod?
But other people do. Other people say it is.
Is that all we got? Maybe I skimmed too much there. Let's go back. Right, we got some colour there. Looks like a red light, green light, 2 white lights. Could it be a plane?
Grew up during the...
There's mouse cursor in the way. And we know there's a red light and a green light on wings. We know there's landing lights. Could it be a military plane that hasn't got all the lights on? Looks like there's a dim light in the background here though. So... is he going to play it?
Somebody with BO was sitting behind me, and I went and shook his hand, and it was him. My hand smelled like BO for 3 days. I couldn't get rid of the B and the O at the same time. I'd wash my hands, it was on the other hand. I'm like, no! But anyway, he said this was the best TR3B he's ever seen. Other people said they don't have 2 lights like that.
Is it 2 lights? I don't think... Normally on the wings you normally have a white light facing forwards. Or is it the white light facing back? On the wingtip. And then you have the green light or the red light facing forwards.
And one there. And why would this...
Okay, so could it be a military plane with a tow line with a light on the end? Could be a refueling plane.
One be dimmer if they're not flashing. So many people came up with so many ideas on...
Kind of looks like it could be a refueling plane, military plane.
Why this is really a UFO. Now, just to give you an idea, if the sun was coming...
Okay, we need to see more of that one. Let's see if I'm right.
Right by the star.
It's hard to see if it's a red light blinking or not.
No flashing lights.
But hard to tell.
That is a bona fide TR...
Atmospherics.
3B airplane. You know what?
Normally refueling planes, they do turn on all the lights. So so they can see them and line up, but not give away too much of their position.
It's not me. I still think this is an airplane.
Correct. And next one. Let's just move it on. Hey Plex, how's it going? It's the same site and not two different events. Look at the timestamp and could it be on the same video though? I don't think it's Chinese lanterns though. The last one was definitely Chinese lanterns. February the 8th. The other one was 6, wasn't it? Let's just go back. April. The 2 squares. That was Chinese lantern one. So not the same time. And the very first one. Oh, what happened there? What's happened? What did I do there? Come up with a program. I must have clicked on something. Okay, let's go back to the first one. Where is it?
The lights are stacked, not side by side like.
That was January the 6th, because I remember him saying it. So yeah, they're not the same videos. So let's just move on. Okay. You're right. That's why we check out these things. Yeah, it could be on the same video, the same night. This shows that probably why he got divorced, right? He's out there filming at 2 to 3 in the morning and his wife's inside in bed. And he's up at 6 AM still filming UFO videos. He must have been a complete nutter to live with. You just can't do that. Normally you'd set up a camera and just have it film all night and just review it in the morning, right? Yeah, he looks funny there, doesn't he? He's got his falsies sticking out.
And I am going to show you our 3B boy right there. Right.
Okay, so I reckon that's a refueling plane. It's got something dangling below, which is normally what they do, and light it up. So, and that looks like a cursor key there, but we can't see any military jets coming up to it because they've probably got their lights off. It's probably some exercise, right?
There. Now I don't think it.
You got to remember, he's living in Arizona back then, which is close to all these Air Force bases. Any more?
It's a good one.
That's it, I think. We've been through, we debunked all his sightings here.
That is supposedly a real UFO that I captured. A real TR-3B boy, right there. Right there.
And he just said it, he thinks it's a plane. Anyway, looks like we're finished for the night. And I got a bursting bladder here, so I got to get going. And yeah, so we got a few things tonight. And I'll catch you up next time. Thanks for joining us last minute, Plex. I'm not sure where everybody's gone to, but somehow we've managed to end up with 10 likes in the process. Both saying crappy quality, dots in the sky, saying it's the best UFO video footage. Well, compare it to all my ones I've done. And even compare it to, remember that one that you get going on about that I spent 8 hours analysing the balloon? And it was Alien Addicts one, and I used it as an example, how to use the tools to break out the individual frames for JPEGs, or PNGs actually. And then stabilize it manually and zoom in and change the filters and all that. So yeah, that turned out to be a panda balloon, and you could see it break apart. But you could only see it in one frame because he was moving it all around. But anyway, we've got to get going. And good night and stay safe on the roads, and we'll see you again next episode. hopefully the weekend. Oop, gotta clear that. Oop. And I gotta dash to the toilet. Okay.